Electricity distribution company says it has lost about 4 billion naira of its assets and electrical installations to vandalism in the last 6 months. Tinuade Sanda, who's the managing director, disclosed this at a press briefing in Lagos. She said the company faced more vandalism in the Mushi and Ijora areas, leading to unaccounted problems. That the peril had made it difficult for the company to provide adequate electricity to its customers, also posing a serious threat to its distribution infrastructure, especially electricity cables. The governor of Benue State, while answering questions from journalists in Makurdi, the state capital, gave 3 reasons for the development that has led to a lack of salaries not being paid. He blamed factors such as rising cost of overheads, inability of the NNPC to remit money to the Federation account, and the state's low internally generated revenue as a result of insecurity. Pensioners in Ogun State, southwestern Nigeria, have threatened unprecedented protests if Governor Dapo Abiodun fails to pay up their 10-year gratuities and other entitlements, which amount to about 66 billion naira. They gave him a 14-day ultimatum to meet up with their demands, saying that the present monthly 5,000 naira pension can't feed his dogs. Also said that the upgrade of 33% pension increase has not been implemented, and that, of course, at the bottom of your screen, there are 66 billion in pensions still being owed. Arise business analyst Chika Mbono joins us to discuss further. Chika, thank you so much for joining us. Good morning.
How are you today?
Yes, this subsidy issue, we heard Zainab Ahmed saying that Nigeria can't pay debts as a result of debt services being impacted. We're seeing these states being impacted left and right, Ogun State, Benue. Chika, what do you make of it all? We've talked about this all week.
Well, I mean, it's become a sing-song for this program, you know.
Yes.
And, what I thought about consequences. I mean, I always say that we shouldn't eat our egg and, how do you say it again?
Eat your cake and have it.
Eat your cake and have it.
Yeah.
And there are consequences to the things that we're doing. And starting from at the highest level, at the federal level, you hear the Minister of Finance is constantly talking about it these days.
Yeah.
Sometimes you will think, when the president speaks and the Minister of Finance speaks, you will just think that they're not the same government.
Right.
Because of the fact that she sees the figures, she's there, they're battling with the figures, trying to balance the budget, and so she feels the pain. Everybody knows that. I've thought about it in this program.
Yeah.
Subsidy, 4 trillion, 5 trillion thrown into the Commonwealth. We're consuming it, and that's revenue that ordinarily we should, put backwards into the economy to help in expanding revenue back to the country, and reduce the borrowing that we already have. I said that all these things kick each other, they complement each other, they support each other. And so everybody should know that because of subsidy, we are borrowing.
Right.
Whether it's from Central Bank of Nigeria or whether it's from external environment. And all these things will continue to happen. And because of the issue of subsidy now, you see what's happened to the states?
Yes.
If you add to the states, remember what already I've been talked about in this program, that a lot of states depend on FAC allocation.
Correct. Yes.
They have little or no IGR, internally generated revenues. Now, for some of them who have IGR even now, security challenges, for example, this Benue State now, Benue State has about 2 million people in the internal camps.
Yeah.
So how would they pay tax? So internal generated revenue is almost nil. FAC allocation, NNPC for the last how many months are not contributed anything to the FAC allocation because of the issue of subsidy. So you see Ogun State also, what's happening. See, I'm not having of doom.
Yeah.
But I want to assure you that as we move towards 2023, a lot of the governments, especially those whose governors are on their second term,
right,
will jettison, paying of salaries and then pension, as I've seen already. And it's going to be very increasingly difficult to meet these needs. That's the reality. The money is not going to be there. Oil, but the only country now, out of all those who produce oil, who is not profiting from the boom in oil prices arising from the Russian-Ukraine war.
Yeah.
Every other country is building up their reserves, which will help their currency. So if Nigerians want to know why our dollar exchange rate and in that market is at 600 or whatever it is, it's because our reserves are not growing.
Right.
Meanwhile, our reserves are supposed to be growing because oil prices are going up, but they're not growing. Because the reserves are growing now, the central bank will be able to defend our currency with more dollars.
Right.
But that's not happening. So there are consequences. And everybody must understand that. So that when anybody is attacking one side or whatever, let everything be balanced. And I'm not on anybody's side, but I'm just saying that every analyst, every critic, everybody must be balanced. If you are criticizing something, understand the fact that on what side are you on subsidy? That's where I will start.
Yeah.
Do you understand what the reality that's happening? That our reserves are not growing because of the fact that as we are selling oil now at this high rate of $120 per barrel, we're turning around immediately to use it to import PMS to sell at below market. Those are the challenges. And the states are going to be increasingly going to be problems. Just watch out what's going to happen.
Exactly. That was what I was...
Watch out what's going to happen. You see, Autumn has been, frank enough to admit it. A lot of other states are not owing back salaries, but I'm not talking about it.
Exactly. You see, he's the yes. Yeah, it will be.
In this program, we talked about us even the new minimum wage.
Yeah.
And the consequential adjustments arising from the minimum wage. A lot of the states have not done it.
Right.
So it's going to get worse between now and 2023. And I don't want to hazard a guess what will happen for those who take over power.
It's going to be very difficult for them.
Very difficult.
Gosh.
Yeah. If I have a second, let me talk about the eco distribution.
Yes, the disco, the vandalism of the assets.
It's only in Nigeria that they will build roads, expressways.
Yes.
And again, go to the center and build barriers to prevent people from crossing the road and not using the
flyover,
the overhead walkways.
Yeah.
It's only Nigeria. Yeah. I mean, we must be shepherded as goats and whatever. The 1 minute you see somebody crossing the road, the person will be hit by a car, the person dies. The next minute, people also will be calling to cross because it's not my portion, it's not my portion, it's not my portion. That's a Nigerian something. So it's going to continue like that. So we don't have, I don't know whether it is this love of the nation or what is causing this or the poverty mentality because this is our Commonwealth.
Right.
The power something is for Commonwealth. The rail line is for Commonwealth. Now, those who go and cut off the railway lines, have they thought about the fact that the train will derail, people will die, just for the fact that they want to earn a quick bucks?
Yeah.
So is that national mentality that's lacking in our country? Because you don't see that happening in other nations.
Yeah.
It just happens in Nigeria that people can just go day and night, go and cut NEPA cables. So the whole community will not have light, and so they go and profit and sell the cables for pittance, for that matter.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what I'm saying, that when they build roads in Nigeria, they have to cover, create something at the center, so they cover the whole thing, and that the discos have to work towards that also. The underground cables, maybe now we'll start putting it about 10 stories high, so that before you can get there, you cannot touch it. Maybe that's what's going to start happening. But all these things increase the cost of construction or whatever we do.
And even doing business in
Nigeria.
Arise business analyst Chika Mbona. Chika, thank you for taking us to this. I appreciate your time.